Breast milk is made literally for your baby, your newborn. Your milk is for your baby. And that is just so beautiful. I mean, the creator made it, so that was how it was supposed to be. Also, the immune system is built out of our gut. And the breast milk establishes that good immune system, and colostrum is full of antibodies to bacteria, to virus, to all kinds of things.
Hey, this is Mama Jane.
And this is Mama Vicky. Welcome to the Cycles and Sanctity podcast.
I'm a Billings ovulation method instructor and a certified Catholic mindset coach.
And I'm a labor and delivery nurse, an IBCLC, and a La Leche League leader.
We're here to share with you the beauty and the pain of your cycles.
Have you considered honoring your cycles throughout the journey of your womanhood?
Have you ever considered your cycle as a tool toward your holiness?
Well, sisters, it is. We're excited to walk this journey with you.
So go grab your favorite journal and pen and your hot beverage, and let's do this.
Hey, Mama Jane, how are you today?
I am doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is my favorite month, August, for lots of reasons. And we're going to continue on our breastfeeding journey. And today we're talking about the beauty and the benefits of breastfeeding.
And I want to acknowledge your birthday coming up.
Thank you.
Yes, it's so exciting. So exciting.
I also think it's funny. I had my first son and my first daughter in August as well.
Wow.
It's a big August who knew when starting out on this journey that it would be so meaningful. Anyway, Divas, I wanted to talk about the beauty and benefits of breastfeeding. I say this so many times. Really, there's no negative side to breastfeeding except for that you as the mother have to do it.
Yeah. I saw an Instagram post or whatever about the first year of breastfeeding. And I don't remember the exact hours, but it was like twice as much as someone who works a 40-hour job for a year with 2 weeks of vacation.
Paid vacation. Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the benefits here. And when I talk about benefits, they really are. I mean, the spiritual, emotional, nutritional benefits of breastfeeding are just priceless. Like the Visa commercial, I think it was, like this, that, and the other, but this is priceless. Breastfeeding is priceless. You literally cannot do anything better for your child.
Yeah.
But when I'm saying this, when Mom and Jane and I are saying this, we acknowledge that it comes with struggle. It's not easy. This is not the easiest thing you'll ever do by far. This is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do.
And that's probably the other reason why we do Cycles and Sanctity, because eternal life isn't easy either. Jesus said,
Exactly.
take the narrow gate.
Yes.
This is the hard way. To be a Christian is a harder way.
Yes.
Not to sin, choosing not to sin and go out and party or whatever.
And I'm so glad you said that. That is just so perfect because, like I said, the benefits of breastfeeding, it's the best thing you could do for your baby. But it is hard, but you do get benefits. In the beginning, it is hard, but then it gets easy. Then you get good at it, and it is not as hard. It starts out very hard. I kind of feel like in your faith walk, sometimes it's just hard. And it ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows. Some days it's just easier to say the rosary you've committed to saying, or go to the mass you said you'd go to on Wednesday mornings or whatever. And then some days it just seems like this, like ball and chains got to be yoked around you. And it's just like, why is it so impossible? But that's normal.
Yes.
That is life.
That is life.
Society has just lied to us by saying everything should be easy. And if it's hard, don't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at even nature, right? Like in the winter, we all want it to be summer. And then now we're in the hot days of August where it's humid. And kids are going back to school and it's still so blustering hot.
Summery, yes.
And we want the cold.
Yes.
Yes. And that is life. That's the beauty of life, is the differences and in the struggle, right? It's funny. I just have to share with you an insight that I was able to give my husband this week. I was gone all day Saturday doing lots of different things, just being busy in my life. And I came home and he was putting his hand by his lower back. I was like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" Because he'd had a few months ago, he'd had a kidney stone. And I thought, oh gosh. He said, "No, I just hurt my back." So in the evening, he couldn't sit right. We went out to dinner and, "Do you want to sit here? No. So the next morning he went to go help a friend do her lawn, right? This widow, and he goes every once in a while. He comes back and I said, "So how is your back?" Because he's sweating. And he goes, "Oh, it's actually better." And I just turned to him. I said, "Isn't this the irony, is the exercise that you actually needed was what helped your back.
Mm,
And isn't that the truth about breastfeeding? That,
yes.
like you talk about so much, nope, just bring that baby back to the breast.
Mhm,
But it hurts. Bring that baby back to the
mhm.
breast.
Yeah, the answer, how do you successfully breastfeed? By breastfeeding. And it is trial and error. And this is what I was talking to you earlier about Patricia. Mama Jane's daughter just had a baby girl. And we've worked together a lot through this journey of hers. And when she would get frustrated and be like, well, I'm trying, but it's not working. No, but the trying is the doing. Like you have to try. And there's no skill that humans just naturally are phenomenal at.
Yeah.
Obviously, some are better than others. Some breasts are easier to latch to, some baby mouths are easier to latch, and you can have a different baby. What number 1 did, number 2 won't do, and number 3 or however many you have.
Yep.
And again, I wanna reiterate that all that is normal and acknowledge that it is frustrating, it can be overwhelming. I tell my patients early postpartum, they've just had babies, and I'm just like, "This is normal." Like, it is all a lot, and you grew this baby for 10 months inside your body, and now it's outside your body, and you are still responsible for growing it. It's just now it's outside and a lot more complicated, has opinions and a voice, and
And a little
yeah.
personality.
Yeah, so it can be a lot, and just because you have a frustrating feed, or I don't even like to use the word failed feed, like a breastfeeding attempt. If you go to latch your baby and it doesn't latch, or you just take a timeout, you wait, put that baby skin to skin with you, they're gonna come around. They want to eat. Babies like to eat.
Yeah.
They just don't always eat. We give you a schedule in the hospital, and your baby probably actually is not gonna follow that schedule in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
These are things we tell you in the hospital, like, you gotta feed every 2 to 3 hours. Well, in the first 24 hours, babies are born, and that's why that first few hours is very important to do skin to skin and have it uninterrupted and get a good feed in, because 9 times out of 10, they will feed well. We're talking full-term babies. They will feed well at the breast, and
Mhm.
and then they check out for a minute. Then they're
Yeah.
usually like they need a little fat nap because they just got born.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody needs a nap. Mom, dad, everyone involved needs a nap. Heck,
Recovery
caregivers
time,
need a
right?
nap.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
So,
recovery time, recovery of the
mm,
experience.
rest, exactly, rest. So, this is supposed to be the benefits. I'm just gonna pop off a couple. Just to start, breast milk is the perfect nutrition. The colostrum that is made during pregnancy, so everybody has colostrum, even if you've never seen it, it's there. So the colostrum that's made during pregnancy is the perfect amount for your baby's tiny little 5 milliliter holding tummy. It is teeny tiny. So it is very confusing when they sell newborn bottles in the 2-ounce size. Babies' tummies are not ready for 2 ounces. If a baby chugs down 2 ounces of formula, they're going to throw it right back up.
Yeah, exactly.
But breast milk is made literally for your baby, your newborn. Your milk is for your baby. And that is just so beautiful. I mean, the creator made it, so that was how it was supposed to be. Also, the immune system is built out of our gut. And the breast milk establishes that good immune system. And colostrum is full of antibodies to bacteria, to virus, to all kinds of things. And it just is perfect.
Yeah, one of the things I have to say is that one of the things I love about the understanding of colostrum is you're right, it isn't that much, and yet it's so powerful. It is
It's
like
like an espresso smoothie or a green drink, but even better because it's perfectly made.
yes, and it's perfectly made for that baby, that particular
Mhm.
baby. Again, going back to the understanding that each and every one of us is unique and unrepeatable. Like, if you were able to do the testing and do the research of taking colostrum of
Mhm.
a first baby and then taking colostrum from the same mother for the third baby, it would be completely different colostrum,
Yes.
which
Yep.
to me is just so fascinating. I
Mhm.
love the science of breast milk.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like one of those things I really do. I'm right there with you. I want to jump on the rooftop and shout with people. And the science,
Backs it.
yeah, the science proves what we've always known
Mhm.
that
Yes.
God knows how to create human beings.
Exactly. I mean, he literally did it. That's why we're all here. Breastfeeding also supports brain development way better than formula ever can. It's how your brain is wired, how your brain grows. There's reduced allergies, reduced obesity, reduced diabetes. There's just all kinds of great benefits. Two things I'm going to throw out there. One, I love this little tidbit. there's a study out there that says if you breastfeed a baby for 1 year, that post-menopausal, so the stage Mama Jane and I are getting at, because we've breastfed, well, we breastfed way more than 1 year, but
Mhm.
1 year improves a woman's cardiovascular system by 15%. 15%.
That's
Now, that doesn't
amazing.
mean if all you eat is terrible things that that's going to prevent a heart attack,
Right,
but
right.
just the act of breastfeeding in your childbearing years protects you postmenopausally when you're a grandma, so you can have a good heart and run around with your grandkids. I mean, what a
Yeah.
gift. What a
It
gift. That's a gift.
it really is, and actually, I can see it in my own life because I am
Same.
postmenopausal, and I was just having that conversation this morning when I was at Pilates. This new girl was talking to me about like, "Wow, you're just really g" I'm like, "Yeah, I just have a lot of stamina, like, I have a very healthy cardiovascular system."
Mhm.
I can take the
Praise the Lord.
breaths, like, yeah, that's right, praise the Lord, and that's a whole
Mhm.
'nother conversation about
Yes.
my cardiovascular system, but that is just so amazing that we talk about what we do today affects tomorrow, right? Being able to breastfeed a baby for 1 year
Mhm.
gives that mother the opportunity to increase her cardiovascular system postmenopausal,
Mm.
so it's like grandma age.
Exactly.
That's really grandma age.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's preparing, like, isn't God good to
Mhm.
give us that gift that now we have the stamina, like you said, to run around with our grandchildren?
Yep. Another thing about breastfeeding, the World Health Organization and the American Academy of Pediatrics finally jumped on board, promotes exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months and breastfeeding for 2 years.
Yeah.
So when your baby is 19 months old and still wants to breastfeed, that's okay. That's normal.
Mhm.
And some stuff you can't put into words. You have to do the thing to feel the thing. But breastfeeding teaches you how to mother.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to know your baby, how to
Mhm.
draw boundaries. Because a 19-month-old doesn't need to nurse like a newborn. I mean, you don't have
Right.
to nurse, quote, on demand. I mean, they're
Right.
eating a little bit by then and they're
Right.
before nap or before bedtime or if they
Something
fall
really
down or
scary.
if a toddler is having a cranky day, nothing is better than just to call a fat time out and breastfeed.
Yes, exactly.
And it
That's
makes you I mean, I just when I have this when we talk about these things, I just remember us talking through the years, just with our
yeah,
babies at different stages in breastfeeding, and it does force you to sit down. There are times of rest,
that's right.
and when you're mothering, it does sometimes feel like you can never be off. You always have another task, but you're always gonna
Mhm.
have another task. That is life. We do always have other tasks. We just
Yeah.
can't do them all at once, and sometimes the task at hand is to sit down and breastfeed.
Yeah, and I was talking to a client about the feminine genius, like,
Mhm,
right, the 4 attributes that we have as women. Every single woman has this, no matter if they're single or they're married or they're widowed or they're a nun or whatever the
mm,
situation is. Maternity is one of our gifts. Mothering is one of our gifts,
mhm,
and it also goes into the intuition, the
mhm,
sensitivity. And those go hand in hand, and I really feel like that is the gift of breastfeeding as a human being, like, as a woman.
mhm,
I'm so much more in tune, not just with my own babies, not with
mhm,
just with my own children, but with the world. I was talking to someone the other day, and she's had some miscarriages, and she's come to me, and I was talking to her, and I said, like, "Wait a minute, have you had another?" And she said, "Well, yeah, June." And the last one we had talked about was April. And
mm.
I just gave her a big, huge hug, and I just held her for a minute because she said, "Yeah, it was like 7 weeks."
Mm,
And because of my mothering, like, I understood it, and she's kind of whispered in my ear, like, "Thank you, I just haven't been able to tell anybody, but I knew I could talk to you." And it just was like, because I'm a mother.
mhm,
I know, but every woman is a mother, is called to be mothering and to use that intuition of, like, what do others need?
mhm,
Right? And this is what breastfeeding helps build. Again, like you said, we don't just come out being able to walk and do all these
mhm,
things. We have to learn. And breastfeeding helps a woman become the mother, the woman she's called to be.
for sure. I mean, and it also builds resilience. I mean, as a parent, parenting is hard, y'all. It's the hardest thing I've ever done,
Me
and to this
too.
day, most of my children are grown. I mean, it is absolutely the hardest thing you'll ever do, I think, and breastfeeding prepares you for that, and it teaches you resilience. When you do make it through, when you make it through that long night of breastfeeding. That's what I was going to say a little earlier, like that I tell my patients that breastfeeding minutes are like dog years. Minutes seem like hours, and the hours go so slowly sometimes. I mean, now you all have cell phones, but I 10 out of 10 recommend do not pick that thing up.
Mhm.
You don't need to track. You don't need to have I breastfed from 11:32 to 12:05. That will just make you crazy. And also seeing the time. In my day, we had the alarm clock, so I'd have to turn it around and not look, like stop focusing that it's 2:30 in the morning. It's 2:30 in the morning. It's 2 because y'all, I tease my my patients all the time. I'm like, 2:30 in the club is a whole lot different than 2:30 at night with the baby trying to breastfeed.
That's true.
Not the same
That's
party
true.
level.
That's exactly right. And again, as a Catholic mindset go to that is just a thought, right? What are we
Yes.
making 2:30 AM mean? And
Exactly. That is 100% it. That's
yeah,
exactly right. You've got to take that meaning, that negative connotation out of it because actually it's 100% positive. Your baby's waking up to eat. That's what they're supposed to do. You're learning how to do it. It's what you're supposed to do. And so
mhm.
it is actually a success and actually has much better results than partying in the club at 2:30 in the morning. So
Ay, ay,
I
ay.
say that like I do that often, guys. I don't do that ever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's an idea. That's a thought,
But yeah,
right?
it is. It's just what I've seen on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about self-sacrifice. It is, again, about the giving. It is about that, and so, yeah, you do. It's not like if you were staying up reading till 2:30 in the morning, book you were really interested in, and when you're doing a task that's kind of frustrating and it seems overwhelming, but then you get through it, and then you're tired the next day, but then you make it, and then that next night, they sleep better for whatever
Yep,
reason because babies go up and
yeah,
down, and then you're like, "Man, I did it."
mhm.
I love talking to Patricia after her doctor's appointments. When you do go to
Yes,
the doctor's appointment and they're like, "Wow, great weight gain. This baby's looking great."
yes,
And I know, guys, and we're gonna cover difficulties on the next podcast, but weight in the doctor's office can be a blessing and a curse, so it
yeah,
goes both ways, but
yeah,
I'm talking about the benefits, and when you go and you see the milestones your babies are making, not only physically, but developmentally, it's breastfeeding. I
that's
mean,
right.
it's
It's
just
so beautiful, but one of the things I wanna mention on the benefits is the cost savings and the convenience.
oh, free, straight
I
up free.
mean, I yeah, you don't have to buy anything for
You really don't.
really
Actually, it
6 months. If you're ecologically breastfeeding, there's
Mhm.
nothing. I mean, yeah, you've gotta have diapers and things like that, but formula, have you looked at the
It's
cost of
insane,
formula? It is really
insane.
insane, but also, especially with the convenience. I remember you talking about the toddler, when we traveled, Steve was in Korea and Johnny had just
Mhm.
turned a year, and he was still breastfeeding, and those flights, we ended up having 3 different flights to get to Washington State, to Seattle, and then the Seattle flight from Seattle to Korea, which was, I don't know how many hours, 12, 14 hours, and I was thinking because with Trisha, I was in the military and I quit nursing and I used bottles, and the flight from Germany coming back to the States and all those bottles I had to have, and oh my goodness, the difference between the 2 experiences, I
Well, no,
was
I
so
mean, all the
thankful that I was
yeah, I mean, all the
breastfeeding.
stress. Nowadays, you can't even bring the liquid deal on the plane, so you have to bring the powdered formula, and then you gotta get the water from either gotta buy expensive water on the other side, or you're hoping that the
Yeah,
stewardess, sorry, dated myself, flight attendant can, bring you water to mix your formula.
yeah,
I mean, there's so many reasons, guys. I mean, it's convenient, and another study is that breastfeeding women get 45 more minutes of sleep than formula feeding because you can rest, you can lay safely in your bed and breastfeed. There's a
yeah,
sideline position you can do safely, and at least you're resting, but somebody's gotta get up and make the bottle and bring it back to the baby, and even if you're
yep,
exclusively pumping, somebody's gotta get up and you have to get up and pump, and then
yep,
someone's gonna warm the bottle, and you really do get more rest because definitively having a new baby is exhausting. Look at new parents, they're exhausted.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, they just are
absolutely.
because it's exhausting because
It
you're up
is.
a lot.
Well, and then also you're just still recovering from your I mean,
Yes.
birthing is an experience and your whole
Mm.
body has shifted and it's still what's going on, and hormones are out of whack and everything. And yeah, it helps recovery time.
It definitely helps recovery time, and a lot of talk about postpartum depression. A lot of times I hear this, "Well, breastfeeding's too stressful, flares up my anxiety." The studies show actually that it decreases, like, breastfeeding decreases postpartum depression.
And because of
I didn't
oxytocin.
say it eliminates it. I
Right,
mean, some mothers do struggle with it,
right,
but it supports it. And
right.
again, when you start to be in the beginning, it is hard, but when you start to have little successes, then that builds your confidence.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
so oxytocin that releases the breast milk, that is a calming, it's the love hormone. So it
mhm.
helps calm you. It has you feeling of love, not stress towards your baby. I mean, I know I've touched on this before about skin to skin. Dr. Niels Bergman, who does a ton of study down at kangaroo care in South Africa, but just the skin to skin rewires your brain. It does not have the cortisol stress, flight, or flight reaction. It has more of a dopamine reaction that brings calming and loving, and you want to help your baby. I mean, I'm not saying it's not stressful, guys. I mean,
Yeah,
getting up all night and all day, and some babies are more high need than others. And let me throw out here, sling wearing. Baby wearing is a beautiful thing, also a skill you need to learn,
yeah.
and also very specific. The sling I love, you may not love, and the sling Mama Jane loves, you may not love. So if you're pregnant and listening to this and you know anyone with a baby that baby wears, now's your time to just start kind of exploring it. But definitely look on, I mean, sling wearing is expensive. If you get new ones, they're all about $100. So kind of try and look on different venues to get them cheaper,
Yeah,
just because you might not love a certain kind, but you have to
yeah.
keep doing it. You cannot, I tell everybody when they ask me about wearing a sling, you don't take it to the grocery store on day one that you're going to try it. You're going to hate it and never want a baby wear again, because it takes every baby, every body. You've got to figure it out. And it just takes a couple tries. And by a couple, I mean many.
And that's a really good point too, is the fact that, again, just like breastfeeding, just like that one feeding that maybe she didn't latch correctly and
Mhm.
went back to sleep, just because the first time you put the baby in the wrap, maybe it was
Mhm.
uncomfortable for you, maybe it was uncomfortable for them. It's a learning process.
Yes.
But both baby wearing skin to skin and that breastfeeding helps develop that bond and
Mhm.
helps teach the child emotional regulation. And
Yes.
going back to the toddler, that was the thing that I was completely 100% all in with breastfeeding my toddlers, because their emotions are sometimes
Big.
just so big, and giving them that opportunity to just be scooped up and come to the breast, calming down. It was such a gift. It really was the number one tool that I had, that, again, going back to the convenience, didn't matter anywhere, we could be at the park, we could be at the
Yes.
zoo, we could
At the
be at a
pool, you could be at
a
the beach,
a
you could
family, and this happened many
church.
times with Johnny. He was a social butterfly, and we would be at friends' houses, but then he would get overwhelmed because there was just too much stuff, and I would scoop him up, and I would go into a different room, and I had a blanket, I'd lay on the floor with the blanket, he'd fall asleep, leave him in the room, go check on him every once in a while.
Mhm.
He was fine,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
and he was so much happier when he woke up.
Mhm.
So that emotional regulation, because our emotions, again, are, this is the coach in me, emotions are simply indicators of what's going on interior, but our babies don't have the capacity to understand the reactions, and they're trying to figure out their world and making the associations, and sometimes all of that just is too overwhelming for their little system to acquire, depending on what the situation is, like a family reunion with 50 people that they don't know, that everybody
Or
wants to
whatever. I
touch
mean,
them.
you never do know. You never do know what's gonna set a baby or a toddler off, that it might not seem overwhelming to you, but is overwhelming to them. I mean, it could be going to the store. I mean, maybe Walmart trip got too long, or,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be. I mean, you may not feel overwhelmed, but they do. And that teaches you when, like, it helps you prioritize needs.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
right. It's just
teaches
really
you,
important. And I just would love to hear from you, because you do have a spectrum child,
mhm.
but you breastfed,
Oh,
and
Lord. It's the only thing that saved us.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
It really was the only thing that's
I mean, he was number 6, so I do remember taking him to the pediatrician and be like, "Look, man, this kid's broken. There's something terribly wrong." And he was like, "Oh, mom, you're just tired." I was like, "Absolutely, I'm tired. My oldest kid is 12 and I have 6 of them. I am 100% tired, but you've been a doctor for 10 years? Well, I've been a mother for 12. So, I'm just saying I know how to do this, and this guy is broken." I mean, come to find out, he is on the spectrum. So all the sensory of being in a house, with 5 older siblings and just the loudness, and I mean, he literally lived in my sling. If he was not cinched to me, which makes sense, like the weighted blanket sense, like, he loved to
Yes.
be so, so tight on me. And then
Yes.
another story with him is that I had a sister in April, and he turned 3 in July, and we had weaned, like, March.
Mhm.
And, it was a little bit self-led. I mean, it was kind of mutual.
Of
It wasn't a
course.
big breakup.
Right.
And then when she was born, I love to tell the story because, I mean, I even had her at home, and she was like, "Where's her mother?" I was like, "We had this talk. She's ours. She's staying." And the midwife suggested, "Well, have you let him nurse again?" And I was like, just the thought, I was like, "Oh my goodness, no, I hadn't." And so I did. I offered him the breast one night, and I mean, he was in like Flynn. And I was surprised again. So that's a benefit of breastfeeding. You have that to offer them. And the fact that it helped him, but it was very hard for me. And here I was, a La Leche League leader, huge pro supporting tandem nursing, supporting ecological breastfeeding. And I was surprised at how overwhelmed I was. I remember I called my co-leader thinking, and I was just like, does this disqualify me? I mean, this is so scary because I thought this was going to be so easy and great. And I'm actually kind of excited. I always kind of wanted a tandem nurse, but my old baby weaned before the next baby. And yet this is so hard. But I tell you what, and I'll tell you again and again and again, that was a blessing, such a huge blessing. And I know that that was the step to developing coping skills that time that we breastfed. And, here I was thinking it was so terrible, right? But I really don't remember when we stopped.
Yeah,
I
isn't
don't
that
know
amazing?
when one day he didn't nurse anymore, but I
Yeah.
do it gets me all choked up. I do know it was the right thing.
Yeah, and that's again, that sacrifice, right? Like, it was
Mhm,
hard for you, and you might have had an aversion
mhm.
with the newborn, with a preschooler,
Yeah, I
really.
just
This is a
felt, kinda
preschooler,
t yeah, it was I mean,
and
it was
and
touched
yet
out.
you knew that this was
The right thing.
the right thing because every time you nursed him, you saw the emotional regulation, you saw the development, and those 2 are really close.
Yeah, they are.
A doctor told me this is the reason why when you hear the expression bosom buddies, that's exactly what bosom
Yes.
buddies are. Literally, they're at the bosom together, which I thought,
Yes.
this isn't about tandem nursing, but this is about breastfeeding and being the mother that you're called
Yes.
to be, however your family looks.
Exactly. And it just is a benefit because you have that tool in your pocket. Like,
Yeah.
if you hadn't breastfed, I mean, it just isn't even on the table as an option.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and again, mamas, do not hear this is not a judgment podcast. This is not casting judgment. This is strictly telling you the benefits. And maybe you haven't been able to breastfeed your baby, or kind of like Mama Jane's experience, just overwhelmed by yourself in a foreign country in the military. Just it didn't line up. But then she was able to breastfeed her next kids. And once you had that success with Johnny, once you have a successful breastfeeding, you really don't even think of another option.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
works.
Yep. Yep.
And if it's
Well,
not working, if you're frustrated, I mean, look at Patricia's journey. I mean, she was very overwhelmed in the beginning, but now she's getting it. I mean, she's stressed out going back to work, but that's okay. That's
mhm,
normal. You're going to be stressed out
mhm,
having to go back to work. That's a whole nother
mhm.
podcast.
Yeah.
And you know what? Again, parenting is ups and downs. You navigate what lands in your lap. Have the best laid plans. We're going to go this, we're going to do that. And then the car battery dies. Or you plan to go to the zoo and it's raining. And that's just how it goes. And breastfeeding just gets you starting to prepare for this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love Mother Teresa of Calcutta's quote, love is never wasted.
Yes.
And that is what breastfeeding is all about is love, sacrificial love for the other, right?
Mm,
Because we say this all the time. Love is willing the good of the other for the other's own sake. And breastfeeding is for the good of this baby,
mhm,
this emotionally, physically, intellectually, spiritually is for the good of that baby. But then it's also good for us as women
mhm. Yeah,
and like you said,
so beautiful about it.
slowing down. I can't tell you how many rosaries. That's probably really when I really started praying my rosary was when I started really breastfeeding a lot because I would just hold that rosary while I was
Yeah,
nursing.
I
You
mean,
just
it's a great
don't
time,
know.
and moms today, you guys have apps. I mean, there's so many, like, you can just put it on and you enjoy listening to it and meditating on it, not have to think it up in your own brain or bust out a cassette tape or
Yeah,
here, now I'm going into the red tent, my wise mama Jane and I, because we've got
yeah.
years under our belt, and I guess that's the other thing. Hear this as encouragement. Mamas, we had struggles. I've had many tears while breastfeeding babies
Mhm.
of both frustration and joy.
Yeah.
So it's part of it.
Mhm.
It really is part of it. But the benefits far outweigh the commitment, the dedication, and the love you build is, again, priceless. It's irreplaceable.
And
Um,
now we have such beautiful support, and that's
oh, yeah. Mhm.
one of the things I would just wanna share is we're really excited. We're gonna include the link for Mama Vicky's postpartum program. I mean, it's just so beautiful that you have her. And really, it's because of my own daughter seeing that while I have a lot of knowledge about breastfeeding, I was too close, and you were the perfect person, and she had access to you. And the journey, baby's now over 8 weeks old, and those first 6 weeks of postpartum are so important to have that
Support.
benefit. I look back with Trisha, if I'd had some sort of support
Mhm.
and
Oh, for sure. It would have been a totally different situation.
it would have. I mean, you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
And so if this is something mamas, if you are an older mom, if you're a grandmother, if you're an aunt and you know someone who's pregnant, please reach out. We're going to include it in the show notes, but please, this was probably the best gift that you could probably give a pregnant mother is your
Mhm.
6-week postpartum support. Because I mean, I wish I'd had it. I would have done
Same.
really every
You
single
know,
baby.
I've had this talk lately. There's a new many places are coming out with postpartum doulas that literally these doulas that come to your house and they feed your baby all night. They get up with the baby all night. And mamas, that is counterproductive to what you want to do. I know the mom's pump, I'm not really sure, but it's the new bougie thing so that
Huh.
mothers can get sleep. And locally, if I could reach out to moms, I think it'd be a cool follow-up program to have. Maybe somebody come in and just give encouragement. You just need to be like,
Mhm.
"Hey, see, you did it." You don't need to stay all night, but you can go into the evening and be with that mother and be like, "Look, you're doing it. This is it. You're doing it." And I've just done countless home visits and helped moms. We're talking about Patricia, but you know what? I've actually helped all my girl cousins that have babies.
I
That
know.
that's so crazy.
I
Even
know.
me.
It is, it's amazing. It's just
Uh,
beautiful. You
funny.
really are a
So
gift, and this
Well,
is
I'm
why we're doing the
grateful. By
podcast,
the grace of God.
is that this is your lane. This is your real call to sanctity.
Well, mamas, we're gonna go ahead and close in prayer. And then, like, Mama Jane said, we're gonna have the links. And if you want to reach out, please do. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of motherhood and for the sacred way you designed our bodies to nourish life. Bless all mothers listening today, whether their breastfeeding journey was joyful, painful, or both. Wrap them in your mercy and peace. Let them know that their love, poured out in the quiet hours, mirrors your own self giving love. Mother Mary, you who nursed the Savior at your breast, pray for all women who long to be seen, supported, and strengthened. May every mother know that she is not alone. She is seen, she is cherished, and she is doing holy work. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Stay with us, divas. We're gonna be talking about breastfeeding all month long. God bless
Yes.
you.
God bless.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast. Go ahead and subscribe and share it to your best friends. And it would really help us if you wrote a review. Tell us how we're doing. We want to hear from you.
And come on over to our Facebook page at Cycles and Sanctity and join our conversation. That's where we can talk every day and make this podcast into what you want to hear.
See you next week, divas.